come in, but we're watching that chance for some storms moving through tonight. Might have a slight impact on some folks if you're out and about overnight between, let's say, 10 p.m. and about 3 a.m. We're watching that chance of some storms. I'll just wait probably another minute or so a few people can start to filter in. But right now on authority radar, we are tracking a few showers just near the coastal plains. This is near Kennedy, Victoria. These are not associated with the storms we're expecting tonight. These are entirely different. But what we're watching is some of these showers could still already fall. And then the rain we see tonight could also see more showers expected. What we're watching the storms tonight are well out of our viewing area. In fact, well out of the radar. In fact, the radar just picks up the lightning and some of those severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what's making its way closer to San Antonio. Here's a look at that setup and really what's causing it. This is all because of a low pressure system just in areas of New Mexico, just north of Albuquerque. That does have a weak cool front associated with it, and it's in fact bringing thunderstorms all the way from Texas, from Marfa to Fort Stockton, all the way through Dallas, Oklahoma City, Wichita, and these storms are expected to make their way closer to San Antonio tonight into tomorrow morning. So here's just a look at the headlines of what we're watching and what you can expect. The storms are going to arrive Friday night through Saturday. The first chance of storms are going to arrive. You want to be ready by about 10 p.m. tonight, but some folks might not even see the rain till maybe after midnight. But they will continue throughout tomorrow morning. And then we're watching for redevelopment being possible tomorrow afternoon, especially across south central Texas and just to the north of us. Now, with this, we're watching that chance for some heavier rain to fall. We're talking some strong storms will produce some lightning and thunder, so you might get woken up tonight, but it's also going to have that chance for 1 to 3 inches of rain being possible. That doesn't mean everyone's going to see either an inch or even 3 inches. Some folks might get higher. It all depends on, as this line moves through, where the exact locally heavier rainfall totals will fall. Some folks might get less than an inch of rain. But while we're on that topic, I want to show you what we're watching for the risks, because not only is there a chance of rain, there's also other chances and other things we're watching. So with the storms, it's been a while since San Antonio's seen about 47 or 46 days since we've seen more than just a few hundredths of an inch of rain. So with that, our ground is so dry that we're watching for that chance of street flooding. Yes, there are some areas like those low water crossings across south central Texas that we also need to be mindful of, but we're watching that chance for some localized and isolated flooding. That does not mean everyone is going to have that chance to see the flooding, but that's going to be pretty much one of our main concerns. We're also watching that chance for some straight line winds across south central Texas. Hail is also a growing possibility for portions just to the north and to the west. And yes, there is still that tornado threat, but really what we're focusing on is the top three: the flooding, the wind, and the hail threat across south central Texas. Now, just throughout the next few hours, we are still expecting temperatures to still be in Texas, still be warmer, starting to see that cloud coverage really start to return. About 89 degrees expected to be our peak temperature. But what everyone's been wanting and waiting for, the Futurecast. Well, here's what we're watching. About 5 p.m., we're still going to see that chance of just a few showers moving its way closer to San Antonio. Those are the showers we're currently seeing along the coast. Now, the meat of it, the heavier storms we're watching tonight start to make their way by about 10 p.m. If you can be where you're going to be overnight by about 10 p.m., you'll be in great shape. Now, with this line of storms, traditionally, previously with these storms, they are a bit progressive, meaning they might move quicker, so you want to be there earlier if you can. And the good news is we're not expecting these storms to really stay stagnant in one specific spot for hours and hours. So about 10 or 11, we're watching these chances of the storm start to make its way closer to Rock Springs Junction in the Hill Country, and then it moves closer to San Antonio by about 2 a.m. But once again, the models show that it could be moving later, but we still want to stress that it's an ever so changing forecast. Once the front and these line of the thunderstorms get closer to San Antonio, stay tuned on the KSAT Weather Authority app or even online or on air. We will keep you posted. And as the line continues to move through, this is already tomorrow morning at 5:30 in the morning. The line of the thunderstorms is expected to really start to separate from that one uniform line, but it's still possible to be making its way through south central Texas. Finally starting to see a little bit of relief by about 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow. So if you're waking up to go to any of the events that San Antonio has to offer, especially Muertos Fest, it might be a bit of a wet start tomorrow morning, especially because there still could be a possibility of maybe a sprinkle. But then we start to see a little bit of a break, but we're still going to have that possibility of heavy rainfall tonight, pretty much constant for some folks through the morning hours. We get a little bit of a break about midday for us in San Antonio, but what we're watching is for more redevelopment being possible tomorrow afternoon. About 3 or 4 p.m., we're starting to see a little bit more of that scattered chance of thunderstorms, not as much widespread as what we're seeing tonight into tomorrow. So as that line of and that scattered showers continue to be possible tomorrow afternoon, it does appear most of it could be just to the north and to the east of us. But you will want to check back with us. We will keep you posted, and it will continue throughout the evening hours, finally pushing off, it appears, by about 11 p.m. to midnight, now getting into Sunday morning. Finally starting to be dry Sunday morning. But this is a semi-weekend event. It starts tonight and really doesn't leave until tomorrow night at about midnight, like I showed you. Now with the rain totals, it is still going to depend on your neighborhood and if you do get as much rain as others. With the rainfall totals, what we're watching is the possibility of some folks to get just a few inches. We're talking that 1 to 3 inch mark. Now, this graphic isn't necessarily updated, so ignore the big text you're seeing to the north of us. But what we're watching is some areas to possibly see the 1 to 3 inches mark. Some areas might be locally higher. Now, we do have a flood watch currently in effect for San Antonio. Now, what the flood watch means is we're watching for the possibility of flooding. The exact location, we have a general idea, but that does not mean flooding is actively happening. You need to be prepared. Have a way to receive the notifications in case there is a flood warning. That means there is flooding actively happening. It does not mean that it's for everyone. It's a precise location. We know where the flooding is happening, and you need to take action. For some, that might be staying off the roadways, not driving through any sort of flood waters, through the low water crossings, the street flooding we're talking about. And for some, you might need to seek higher ground. But right now we have that flood watch, meaning we're watching for the possibility of flooding, not necessarily a flood warning, meaning there's actively flooding happening. And that's what we're watching for, the chance for some heavy rainfall to fall tonight into tomorrow morning. And with that, there's also a level 1 and a level 2 risk for some storms tonight. The Storm Prediction Center issued that risk not only for San Antonio, but for most of Texas, all the way up to Lubbock, Wichita Falls. And even if you're traveling to Houston tomorrow, they're also expected to stay and receive some heavy rainfall as well. So I'll go through the Futurecast in case you're just now tuning in. We're watching for the chance of some thunderstorms to start tonight and really continue tonight, tomorrow, and even tomorrow evening. What we're watching is for that chance of some heavy rainfall to really make its way through south central Texas. We're talking straight line winds are a possibility, some hail. So here's a look at that Futurecast in case you missed it earlier. Throughout the next few hours, any showers we're currently seeing just along the coastal plains will continue. But the stronger in that line of the storms we're watching tonight, really, if you can be by where you're at by about 10 or 11, you'll be in a good spot. We're not necessarily saying the storms will start for your neck of the woods at 10 p.m., but you do want to be advised and keep an eye on the authority radar just in case you do start to see the showers and storms start by at about 10 o'clock. And it will move from the north into the west to the east. That's what we're watching as this is all along that weak cool front moving through. By about 2 a.m., I do expect the storms to already be knocking on San Antonio's doorsteps. It's not supposed to take multiple hours of just heavy rain in one exact area. Especially this weather model shows that some areas might be receiving that dark purple color. Those are those heavy rainfall rates we're watching and being cautious about. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Medina Lake all the way through, let's say the Bexar County line, might be receiving that heavy rainfall. That could be anywhere from Live Oak to New Braunfels all the way across south central Texas as this line of the thunderstorms move through. By about 5 a.m., most of us will still at least be seeing some rain or have seen some rain in the past. It will continue to move through. By about 8 or 9, we're expecting the rain to be mostly gone and out of our neck of the woods, but it is still going to be a wet morning. So keep in mind, if you're going to Morthos Fest tomorrow morning or anywhere San Antonio or even across south central Texas, you may still want to be advised that some areas might still have some wet roads or even some localized and isolated street flooding, those low water crossings like I mentioned. And if you have any outdoor events you want to get done or any outdoor activities, get them done in the midday hours. Yes, it's still going to be damp. Yes, it's still going to be humid, but that's going to be the better chance of not having any rain or really having any issues, especially because about 3 or 4 p.m. we're watching another chance of any more redevelopment. There's going to be excess moisture and excess instability in the atmosphere being possible. So we are expecting another chance for more redevelopment of some thunderstorms Saturday evening. But Saturday evening, it's going to be more scattered, not as widespread. It's going to be a little more isolated. So some folks might not even get any rain Saturday afternoon. That continues to mostly be to the north and to the east of us, but really all across south central Texas and across southeast Texas could see the chance of some heavier rainfall in addition on Saturday evening. Now that finally continues to push through by about 11 or midnight Saturday night. Now getting into Sunday morning is when we're finally watching that chance for the rain to really be through. But keep in mind, Sunday is going to be a lot drier. And here's that Futurecast. If you have any things you want to get done throughout the weekend, Sunday is going to be the best day. We're still going to be seeing a little bit of the chance for some muggier conditions. And next week, we have more rain chances, but it's lower, not as much of a widespread threat as what we're seeing this weekend. A 20% chance of rain throughout the next few hours being possible in San Antonio, 70% chance of rain tonight into tomorrow morning. 40% chance of rain on Saturday as the rain finally starts to taper off. I am going to take a quick break, grab some water, so I'll be back in just a few minutes. And if you missed it the first time, don't worry, I'll restate it just in case you want to. have for the weekend. In case you missed it the first time, don't worry, I'll do the whole little spiel again. So right now on Authority Radar, any of the storms we're currently seeing down towards Yorktown, Victoria, Kennedy, just now entering areas of Floresville and Stockdale, this is going to not be the rain we're seeing tonight. This is an entirely just the normal coastal showers, some excess moisture in the atmosphere. This is not going to be the rain we're expecting tonight. In fact, the rain we're expecting tonight is still well out of our neck of the woods. In fact, it's so far out of the woods, it's just now being possible to enter on some of the radar. We're talking about the storms just about to enter San Angelo, but those yellow little boxes, those are severe thunderstorms being issued by the National Weather Service over there. And that's what we're watching that could make its way into areas of San Antonio. In fact, areas near Midland already have a flash flood warning in effect. This is just an idea of what will be coming our neck of the coming to us over the next few hours. Here's a look at your forecast headlines just to kind of summarize everything. We're watching for that chance of the thunderstorms to arrive tonight and through tomorrow night. Tonight, it's going to be the first batch of some thunderstorms, and there could be some redevelopment and some scattered redevelopment tomorrow afternoon. 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible for some. Locally, some could see higher. Some might not even see an inch. So some might get lucky with the rain lottery, and some of these thunderstorms can be stronger. We're talking about lightning, thunder, and even that possibility of some hail, wind gusts, and even that flooding. So here's a look at some of the risks we're watching. This does not mean everyone is going to see that chance for the flooding, wind, hail, or tornadoes, but these are the things we're watching. The main are really the flooding, the wind, and the hail. We are having that possibility of some having that threat for hail. Most of it is going to be for San Antonio and to the west tonight. It does move further east tomorrow, but for wind, we're talking maybe straight line wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. But really what we're watching is that chance for the flooding. It could be some street flooding, could be some low water crossings, and some might even just have a few puddles in the background if you get lucky with the rain lottery. Not everyone's going to have that chance for the heavy rainfall. Here's a look at that Futurecast, just jumping straight into what you need to know and what you want to know. Overnight tonight, the storms that we're currently seeing out in Fort Stockton up to San Angelo that already pushed through areas of Midland and Odessa, that is what we're watching to move through tonight into tomorrow morning. The general idea is if you can be to where you're going to spend the night by about 10 p.m., you're in great shape. That does not mean everyone is going to have that chance for the thunderstorms to arrive by 10 p.m. But these lines of thunderstorms traditionally and statistically speaking have been pushing through at a pretty fast pace as we've gone throughout the few hours it's moved across Texas. So that's what we're watching, and that's why we're advising if you can be by your place at about 10 or 11, you're great. And that's when we're watching the chance of some thunderstorms to arrive in our western counties from Del Rio to Rock Springs Junction. Fredericksburg could even start to see some rain at about 10 or 11. It makes its way closer to San Antonio. It is a west to east to southeastern moving system associated with a weak cool front moving through. And with this system, we're not necessarily guaranteeing everyone is going to see that chance for the heavy rainfall at their exact house. Yes, everyone is expecting to see some rain. We're expecting some widespread rain. But let's just say, for example, near Medina Lake and in between Lake Hills, Helotes, Bernie, and Bandera, where you see that dark color, that does not mean that that area is supposed to see that much rain. It could really be anywhere along this line of thunderstorms, not necessarily that guaranteed area. So you will want to have the Weather Authority app handy with the radar to see if that rain is actually falling. And by about midnight to 2 a.m., we're expecting the rain to be moving through San Antonio. And as we get into the early hours of tomorrow morning, between 5 to 6 a.m., as the storms get through San Antonio and closer to the coastal plains, we are expecting it to really start to break apart, not even be as much of a widespread uniform look as it is tonight into tomorrow. And that's going to give us a little bit of a break during the day. If you have any errands and you don't want to run into any rain, tomorrow about midday is going to be the best time to do that. And even tomorrow evening, we're watching for another chance and another possibility of more scattered thunderstorms and more scattered development. It does not mean everyone is going to have that chance for more thunderstorms being possible tomorrow night. But what we're watching still is the rain and the straight lined winds being possible, and still that hail threat tomorrow evening. The good news, by about 11 p.m. to midnight, really tomorrow night through Sunday morning is when we're starting to dry out. Not everyone's going to really have that much of an issue though with the rain tomorrow. But with that, we do still have that flood watch in effect tonight. So it is still a good reminder to know the difference of the flood watch through the flood warning. A flood watch, meaning a flooding is possible. We do have that from about 7 p.m. tonight through 1 p.m. tomorrow for Bexar County and portions of the Hill Country. The exact location is still a little to be determined. We know that you need to be prepared in case there is going to be flooding, such as having multiple ways to get the notifications. Now, a flood warning is when it comes to your phone, you get that really annoying notification and that noise, meaning flooding is currently happening. We know the location and you need to take action. Whether you stay off the roads because there's low water crossings or there's street flooding or just heavy rainfall, or for some folks, you need to seek higher ground. And that's the difference. We are under a flood watch tonight at 7 p.m. We have no flood warnings yet possible, or even no flood warnings for South Central Texas, really for most of us as we head throughout the next few hours. Now here's that 7-day to wrap everything up in a nice little bow. The rain chances tonight into tomorrow, and yes, a little bit for some folks Saturday night. Really drying out Monday, Tuesday. So the rain that we do get this weekend will be able to really start to sink into the ground, really start to drain before we head into the week, next week especially. And we've been teasing it. If you want some fall-like conditions, you just have to wait till about Tuesday or Wednesday. So I know this was a lot to unpack. If you have any questions, feel free. We have our 5 p.m. newscast with Adam Caskey, 5 and 6. We will be here to live stream and stream on the KSAT Plus app, the KSAT app, and the KSAT Weather Authority app if they're due, and if we do see any sort of weather impacts that could have an inconvenience for you. Thank you so much. If you're still watching, happy Friday. Have a great weekend and be prepared for any weather that comes your way.